Welcome to the Money Mentors Podcast.
This podcast is for you. So if you have a retirement question you'd like us to address, reach out to us online anytime at matsonfinancial.com. It's why, too, we share different stories and even hypothetical scenarios here on the show, too, to give you an idea of how this process works over time. And, sometimes it's hard for couples to communicate about what investment decisions we should make as couples, especially if one person is typically the one making the moves while the other might handle, say, the day-to-day stuff like paying bills, or maybe they have no interest at all in finances. But that's why we like to go over different scenarios. So this week we'll talk about a hypothetical couple here, Jack and Susie. We'll call them that here. So Jack is the one, let's say, who's been making the investment decisions over the years. He's approaching 60. We'll say Susie's 58, and they hope to retire, like a lot of our listeners, in the next 3 to 5 years. Now, let's say Jack is worried about the recent volatility. We've been getting calls about that lately. He's watched their balances slip by 8 to 10% in various accounts and is starting to doubt his own abilities now, but he doesn't want to worry Susie about it. Susie, she wants to be able to spend more time with the kids and grandkids in a few years when she retires. Nothing lavish, but she'd like to have enough money to take some family vacations and not stress about it. And she trusts Jack and doesn't want to be hands-on necessarily with their investments. Both have had full-time jobs, Jack in civil engineering, Susie in education, and they've saved a healthy $1.4 million in their retirement accounts and a brokerage account over the years. The house is about paid off, and they planned on paying off the rest in the next few years. And Jack had hoped to hold off on things like Social Security until 70 since they're both healthy. But he's now starting to wonder, hey, if these balances continue to slide, should I maybe move up that date and draw on that income a little bit earlier to make up for any losses? So where do you start with a couple like this? When they have a lot going on, they've done a lot of the right things, but you also have a guy here who's been happy making the investment decisions until you start to see some of those losses. And he doesn't necessarily want to convey that to the other spouse and doesn't want to worry her.
Yeah, so for this one, I think we see this a lot, that there is a primary account manager of the team or of the household, and they like to do it too. A lot of times people will come and say, I'm tired of doing it and I know retirement is approaching and I want somebody who has some of the same philosophies that I do to be running the rest of us also, because if something happens to me and I'm the primary, I'm the one who knows all the accounts and the balances and the goals, and my wife doesn't, now who does she turn to in the event that I'm gone first? So that's a major concern. So we want to start off by looking at all of this and having you come in for that first meeting, and it's complimentary, but we're going to talk about what does retirement look like. So there's a lot of great information here, but what is the next 3 to 5 years when you walk out the door, what will you be doing? We want to see where Jack's passions lie. We know that Susie wants to do the travel with the family, which is amazing. We have a lot of families that do that as well, to say, hey, I do have some inheritance, if you will, but I'm going to start spending it with my family to make those core memories. Yeah. So those are fun things that we can all plan into. And then we're going to get into the heavy lifting that the Matson Financial team that we do here. And that's looking at these account balances, the Social Security statements, paying off the home as being one of those goals too. How do we roll all of this into a plan, layer in that Social Security so Jack and Susie can see, okay, this is what my plan would look like if we were to take money from these different accounts and we started Social Security at 70. And then also, here's what the plans will look like if we were to maybe optimize or we need to take a little earlier with Social Security. And then we can weigh the pros and cons of all these situations until we get it right to where the clients are like, yes, that's the plan. That's what speaks to us and makes the most sense. Because for us, the dollars don't matter, right? We need to get the plan of your hopes, dreams, desires, all those goals first so we know what types of recommendations, how we should invest, what do taxes look like based on those dreams.
And Laurel, I know that for you, your passion when you came in and started learning this business almost 12 years ago now, that Social Security and getting Social Security right was your passion. And that's one of the things that, again, this potential client, if you look at it that way, has to get right because that's a one and done thing. Once you make that decision, you can't unring that bell. But like Laurel was talking about, one of the things that we do so the client can have that confidence all the way through retirement is we put together a Compass report. Now, that report's going to show income coming in, how much taxes you're going to pay, where's that income come from your portfolio, Social Security, or other investments you may have, and we're going to show how it runs out, including inflation, for the rest of your supposed life. Now, if we can get that right and showing that, then you have the confidence that you're not going to run out of money. And then we show the avenue of us taking advantage when the market goes down, being able to buy for that client. And when the management shows also that when the markets go up, we reap and harvest those gains. Now Jack and his wife are going to have that confidence that, number one, they're never going to run out of money, no matter what the market does. And secondly is the factor that they're going to be able to do things, and probably towards the 3 stages of retirement, getting to that final stage of actually planning to pass money on to their children while they're alive and well, and when they pass.
And I can tell from just this background information that that's going to be, that last part that Dad talked about there, is going to be so important to Susie, right? Jack being civil engineering, we love our engineers, and I expect him to come in with spreadsheets, you know?
Exactly.
So that's a given, which is great. And Jack is going to really want to know, okay, fundamentally, you take this over from me, what does that mean? And I love that question. We love that question because we want to talk about, what do we actually do when markets are down? At what percentage do we start making changes? What happens when markets are up? Dad had talked about, harvesting those gains and putting them on the sideline. So we're going to go through this with you. And then, like you said, Jennifer, when the volatility comes, because we know it will always be here and ebbs and flows of it, then we get to really go to work on your behalf.
Yeah.
And Jack's going to look at it from the standpoint, what is this going to do for them? And Susie's going to look at it and say, what's this money going to do for our family? That's just how they are.
Yep.
Yeah. Men and women tend to look at things differently. But Gary, right now for a lot of people, I've been seeing this question pop up in a lot of these advice columns right now, or, with conversations with friends right now. Oh my gosh, my account's down about 10%, right along with the market, right? We start to question things a little bit more when the market starts to slip. Is it too late at this point, though, to do anything about it when your accounts are already down? Or is that a good time to say, hey, you know what? I have been doing this on my own. Perhaps I need the second opinion. Is it a good time to kind of reevaluate where you are if you've been trying to do this by yourself?
This is actually one of the best times to take advantage of what the market's offering, because there's going to be parts of your portfolio that may not be down, or actually are a great time to divest yourself of some investments and reposition those assets to give you that great gain when the market comes back. So it's a great time to look at it, figure out the pieces, look at the puzzle. We show you this black and white in a written form. You can take it, digest it, and know exactly what's going on, and we don't charge a fee at all to put the plan together.
Want weekly lessons from your money mentors? Yes. Hit the subscribe button now and listen every weekend on Wood Radio.
The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. Fee-based financial planning and investment services are offered by Mattson Financial Services, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services offered through Lakeview Financial Group, LLC, Mattson Financial Services, LLC, and Lakeview Financial Group are affiliated. To find out if Mattson Financial Services is licensed in your state, please call 800-536-8907.